If you want to know what Forza Motorsport is like in practice for multiplayer, you're in the right place. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this evening and just taking a singular deep dive into how to run a race and what it feels like in practice and how you get there and how it works. So the way Forza does things, it's pretty simple. So if we go back to kind of the main menu, you've basically clicked race, go to featured multiplayer, and then you'll be fed right into the multiplayer menu. Now, it's going through some teething things at the moment. There's some bugs with the replay system, so I won't be able to do any nice replays for you, but what we will do is capture the screen of the race itself as we go. Once you're in the multiplayer menu, you'll be met by the introduction menu, of which you can see the qualifier series. Now, you'll have to run 3 separate races in order to get initially your safety ranking, and then your initial ranking. So if we go to ratings, you get a safety rating, and you get a skill ranking as well. So mine is S because I'm a safety bunny, and my skill level is 2,629 at present. I've only run 4 or 5 races or something at present. So what we'll do to start off with, you can jump into a spec event or an open event once you've done those 3 introductory races and got your initial rating, and we'll do a Forza GT series. So these are running pretty much regularly on the clock, as you can see. So you've got races running around the clock. You've got entry ends in 18 minutes. You can run practice until then. You can do some Formula Mazda stuff. We're going to do the Forza GT. We did do a KTM Expo race, which was pretty good around Watkins Glen. That was just 10 minutes ago. Didn't record that, so you can't see that. And then, as you can see, there's lots of different options. So every time I've jumped into a race, it's worked really well, and I've really enjoyed the racing so far. They do this ghost system, so if people consistently ram you, they phase through you. You have kind of, having coming from iRacing, that's my usual racer. It's very different racing Forza players on here because everybody is very kind of ram happy. But I'm hoping that as I progress through the skill levels, that will hopefully be eliminated. So if we want to jump into this one here, so we basically just go to Virginia International Raceway and we click this, and then it simply just matches everything up and it gets you into the car menu. Here we can pick the car we choose to race, and if you don't have the car, you've got to buy it. Right, now you can rent it, but it won't rank up your car as you race. Forza has got this weird ranking system for the cars, which means you've basically got to, well, you have to keep racing an individual car in order to increase its XP, in order to buy stuff for it and upgrade it, and that's not transferable to each different car. For someone with not a lot of time, so I work an awful lot, this isn't my favorite mechanic because it means I'm going to be like locked into one car, or I'm just going to be stuck at the bottom if I want to try a different car. We'll have to see how this plays out, whether they patch it or change it with feedback from the community. At present, I'm not sure I'm a fan of this. We shall, however, I'm a Porsche nut, as you can see from my Porsche picture behind me, so we'll have the Porsche 911. So everything is kind of set to the spec for the race, so no one can have an advantage. I don't think you can tune things as you go, and it's simply a case of feeding it into your match request, and then it'll do some magic behind the internet, match make you up, and then boot up the race. So when you go into the race, you can either practice or qualify. Now we've got 14 minutes of practice. We won't do all of that. I'll fast forward it, but I'll just show you how it boots into it. And then we'll jump into qualifying, do a couple of quali laps by the end of it, and then we'll show the race. And that will be it. So here's practice. You get this nice little intro. So as you can see, some of the game looks really, really good. And then some of it just doesn't. Nvidia have just updated their drivers, so I do notice that the frame rate has significantly improved now, given that the DLSS is now working, basically. There we go, let's jump in. Oh, hello. Ooh, didn't have any feedback there for a second. Ooh, right, let's see if we can figure out how to race this again. So, we're on Virginia International Raceway. Done this a few times on iRacing, so hopefully it should be nice and easy too. Ooh, no, it's not. No, it's not. The handling the cars is just so different. I think everybody is kind of criticizing there's a massive amount of understeer for a lot of the cars before you just lose complete traction. I'm not sure the handling is quite up to scratch to what I would like it to be, but I've had to adjust. So there you go, that guy understeered and went completely off the track. And whoop, gotta watch out for that, thanking you. Anyway,
10 minutes till restart.
Right, so I'll tell you what, we'll leave it there. That's basically practice. You can go around a few times. It's all very entertaining, but we'll jump into qualifying because we don't want to miss that. So press escape, and you basically met with the main menu, and you can simply click qualify, and that'll take you to the qualifying session. So you get 3 laps. It'll start you off, and it's usually... I'm not a massive fan of the rolling starts. I really wish you'd start from the pit. And then it's basically a case of working your way to the start line and then beginning your 3-lap campaign. So 3 laps to get the best time, and then it'll launch you straight into the race. And this appears to be the format for, well, every race I've done so far. And you can skip, I think you can skip qualifying, but obviously it's advisable to qualify because you want to end, well, you don't want to start at the back of the pack. Anyway, let's get some laps in and prepare for the start of this race. Ooh, dear. Ooh. And that is that. So you get your 3 laps, and that's it. So we set some pretty poor times there, but well, we'll live with it. Then you can continue, and then you sit in a lobby for the next 3 minutes while we wait for the race to start. What we will do is now it's worth bearing in mind that each different car, you can tune the car with a different set of force feedback, right? So I know that this is running a little bit high for me. I'm fighting the steering wheel an awful lot. So we'll tweak down the force feedback scale, something like, let's just do it. Let's do 70%. Okay, so we apply that. Very good. Then you can do things like, so you can tune the car a little bit if you want to. That's kind of a little bit beyond me at the moment. We're just getting in racing, and these are all kind of stock cars, so I haven't had a chance to upgrade them at all yet. If we go back, we can do fuels and tires. Now, this is a short race, so it's only 6 laps, and it tells you the fuel load here. So as you can see, with 44% fuel load, I've got 22 laps here. So what I want to do is just drop that, make the car a little bit lighter. So that's 6 laps, 14 laps on that fuel. And then ding. So let's go for 8. Give us a 2-lap margin of error. Okay. So we got 6 laps. We've done our 3 laps of qualifying. We've got 8 laps of fuel for a 6-lap race, and we are ready to rock and roll, as the case may be. Hit done. We've already selected the car, so we're going to be racing the Porsche. Now, we've just been practicing with the Porsche, so we're not going to change that, but it looks like you can indeed change the car if you wish. We won't do that. And then it's simply a case waiting for the race to start. So I think we can jump into practice, but what we'll do is we will fast forward 2 minutes and then we'll jump straight into the start of the race. So see you now. One thing I would like to mention before we start is that if you are having issues with a particular driver, now I haven't had a chance to do this yet because I just haven't been quick enough. But once the race finishes, you'll have a moment, right, to access the drivers list, which you can see before you. So let's just say we click on someone at random. So let's just say, I don't know, Mr. Angelic3, welcome, you're famous. You can report the player, okay? You can scan that in, and then you can report it to Forza Motorsport. So this is sort of like the iRacing steward system, I think. So if people kind of get enough reports that they've been ramming people, then hopefully they'll do something about it. Now, I was consistently rammed on one of the races, but I didn't have time to jump in and do that. But it's interesting that that system is there, and hopefully that's going to discourage people from ramming. It's going to be interesting to see how this multiplayer system really develops, whether it catches on. At the moment, it's nicely populated. Whether they keep kind of expanding it and developing it. I think there's a number of things that need to change with Forza Motorsport in order for it to ensure its longevity. Like I said, it's definitely not a sim. It's probably not arcade, but it does sit somewhere in the middle. I don't like the term simcade, but you know, it was advertised as a simulator. I don't think it is, but it certainly is. It's fun to drive. I'm having a fun time with it, and I'm definitely going to be spending some more time with it as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you enjoying Forza Motorsport? Do you think it's worth your time? Will you be trying out the multiplayer? Let me know your thoughts. Practice is going to end in 14 seconds, and then we're going to be able to jump into the next race. So now that the NVIDIA drivers are updated, this game is running a lot better than it did when I first tried it. There was a lot of pop-in, which just wasn't good. The game looked a bit fuzzy. Now it's looking a lot cleaner. I think the ray tracing, although it's a little bit muted to what they advertised in the pre-release footage, it is looking a little nicer. It's going to be interesting to see how this game looks once it gets patched a little bit. See if they can actually improve things a little bit further. I think my frame rate has increased a little bit since the NVIDIA driver. I just installed it before I made this video. So I was running the old NVIDIA driver. I think they released one on the 10th. So if you haven't already and you've got an NVIDIA graphics card, I highly recommend updating to the latest driver because that's optimized for Forza Motorsport and should help things run a little bit more smoothly for you. And welcome to the race start. So you basically just start on the grid. It just gives you a countdown and then you're off we go, and then put your foot down. Off you go. It's as simple as that, and there's usually absolute carnage. So as you can see, it's, well, classic standard turn one fair. So let's just see how this all pans out. So we're going to just chug it along at the back here. Yep, and everybody's got zero chill. Yep, and we've already been rammed, and it's welcome to Forza, everybody. So yeah, this is the issue with the multiplayer at the moment. So there is a lot of ramming. There's a lot of people not kind of respecting the rules. It does tend to be a little bit carnage. As you can see, there is a penalty system in the top left. So penalties are delivered as you race. Now, I'm not quite sure how accurate this is. I did know there was a gentleman in my Discord, shout out to Sonic, who did receive a very unjust penalty where basically he was taken out by somebody doing an aggressive rejoin. And he got a, well, he looked like he got a 10-second penalty for it. So definitely needs to be some, let's just navigate the carnage. Definitely needs to be some tweaks to that. Now, as you can see, this is a short race. We've got 6 laps to secure victory, and some guys definitely trying to ram me from the back here. And as you can see, it's a bit bumper cars. Damage I don't think is on for multiplayer racing, so that is something. Easy. There you go, there's another one who's gone off track. Several have gone off track. Whoa! Dink! And there we go. That's one way to do it. Bear with me. Yep, and that is it's very much how it goes. So this is kind of what to expect. But regardless of the ramming, it still is quite fun. Because the races are so short, it's, you know, it's, a penalty isn't so high as in, you know, something like iRacing or ACC. It's, you know, it's tolerable, but I'm hoping this sort of kind of, they iron this out, particularly with the safety rating and the penalty system. As you can see, no one's been dished out any penalties just ahead. So that is a little bit of a criticism. It's a little bit mucky at the moment, and you get a multitude of players. I haven't quite been able to, as you can see, it's the braking distances are slightly different to what you might experience in other simulators. It does take a little bit of adaptation to get used to. And as you can see, after we were taken out by the start, we've managed to catch our way up to the back markers, and we're about to make some places up now. As you can see, or hopefully just saw just then, it's when somebody makes an absolute faux pas, the game ghosts them out, which means that they can't come into contact with anybody else. Of course, given the prenacity of a standard Forza lobby, that's probably a good thing, and I think it probably helps. Well, it helps less carnage, but ultimately, I just really wish people kind of keep decent racecraft. As you can see, someone has just apologised up there in the chat. That's nice. So we'll see if we can catch up to these gentlemen up in front of me, and he's 4.5 seconds ahead of me at present. So see you in just a second. As you can see, there's a little bit of jostling, and nobody really cares about ramming. It's yep, there we are. A little bit of a shunt behind, and again, and this is this is kind of how it goes. If it's all like this, I've had some good races, but all you need is some bad eggs to kind of keep doing the wrong thing, and then that's probably my fault. I probably braked a little too severely there, but this guy is right in my bum. So ultimately, let's just have a little chat of my final thoughts of the multiplayer as we complete this last lap. I like the system. I like the way you can quickly jump in and do a race. I like that it's run fairly regularly, so you don't have to wait too long, which is great. As you can see, there is a massive problem, is that people just don't care and they keep ramming you. So somehow, I don't know if they can fix that. It's very difficult to fix that because you're reliant on people just to kind of keep good racecraft. So, you know, I started at a reasonable position to start off with, and I was just taken out repeatedly. So I'm not a massive fan of that. Graphically, it looks better with the NVIDIA drivers. It's not really a multiplayer-related issue, but anyway, it's nice to see that it looks a little prettier. As you can see, these guys are battling up ahead, and everybody's all over the place, but that's fine. You know, I'm kind of, my ranking at the moment is kind of 2,580. It's definitely not the lowest, but as you can see, it's where the people are just struggling to control it, and whoop, and there we are, right in front of my path. So it's only been out for a little bit, and there's definitely going to be some teething issues, and it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. I've only got stuck into a couple of the series so far. This is the first time I'm doing a GT series, believe it or not. I've done the KTM Expo, and I did the qualifying series as well, so those were fun, and I'm very much going to be looking forward to tucking into this a little bit more just to see how it plays out. I haven't given it a fair go just yet, And that brings us to the end of this race. So we finished 17 and we finished. So that's it. Let me know what you think of the whole multiplayer Forza thing. Is it something you're going to be checking out? Do you think it's just going to be an absolute cluster, whatever that word is, or do you think it can turn into something enjoyable and worth your time? Will it drag you away from other simulators? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much of time I'm going to be spending in this, but I'm enjoying it for the time being. I'm definitely going to be putting a little bit more time in. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comments below. Let's start the conversation, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Mercer, out.